Ladies and gentlemen, Mikel Arteta made things clear that he would want to get the 3 points against Norwich City. The big question is, will he get it or not? That's the only question, because there are lots and lots of doubters, and more importantly, there are lots and lots of supporters as well. So, of course, everyone wants Arsenal to turn things around, but it's Norwich City. It should be an easy victory, and more importantly, it should be a clean sheet with the fact that most of Arsenal's defenders are back. I'm even talking about Tomiyasu, who's got the clearance of his permit as well, so that should not be an issue for him to participate. Apart from the fact that he's just had his first training with Arsenal, let's see how that turned out to be. Well, I can't be saying how exactly it would have turned out to be, but yes, everyone was happy to see him here. But more importantly, Arteta just spoke about Thomas Partey recently. He says Thomas is a player that has to be one of the leaders. He has to be the boss in the midfield and one of the senior players that has to carry responsibility out of the young players and lead. We have been missing that big time. He's a player that has that winning culture because he has won a lot in the game already, and to have these kind of players in the team is extremely important. So he has got a huge role to play in the team. Well, of course, that's what Thomas Partey brings to the team. But not only that, I think there are lots of characters that can definitely turn on. But could the upcoming Saturday, that is tomorrow, be the right kind of a day for them to turn up? That's the question. That's a bigger question. So James Green sat down with Martin Odegaard and did an interview. So he asked certain questions. You really like what Odegaard said. So the first question was asked that could he see himself as a future Arsenal captain? Odegaard is a future Arsenal captain. Odegaard said, it would be a great honour if the opportunity came, but right now I'm focusing on the present and improving the performances of the club. He was then asked, how are you feeling about the club's current position? He says, when you look at the table, you don't feel very good, but we need to focus on the next game and keep calm. We played two of the best sides in the world, so we must remain calm. The next question was, what is the atmosphere like amongst the group? He says, it's always hard after you lose, especially the first couple of days, but with the international break, we had a lot of time to think, and the squad feels hungry to pay back the fans and to show our qualities. The next question was, how do you cope with criticism? He says, criticism can be tough at times, but it's also a part of football. We as players are just as disappointed. There are lots of things, but one thing that really took everything by surprise. This one that took me by surprise was the question was, what are your aims and ambitions since returning? Odegaard said, get the team back to the top. Europe is the key this season, and then we want to fight for trophies in the future. Get back into the UCL and hopefully win the league in a couple of seasons. He wants to win the league in a couple of seasons. That's crazy. Let's see how that turned out. Well, that did not turn out to be good when Willian said those things. So I don't know how it will turn out to be when Odegaard has said this. But let's see what the future holds. And we move on into the next topic. Arteta has spoken about Norwich City as well. He says it's a team that's a joy to watch, the way they want to play, the risks they take, how attacking they are. I don't know what they will do against us, but so far from what I've seen, even against top sides, it's been good enough, though the results haven't been good. Well, I think the best game that I've seen Norwich play in recent times was last season's Norwich versus Manchester City, the game that they won. They beat Manchester City. That was a crazy game, man. Timo Pukki, oh my god, that was crazy. Crazy as hell. But let's talk about Arsenal's training. Let's talk about the good times. The good times in terms of, searching 3 points for Arsenal. Well, Arsenal players look like they are back. They got their mojo back. Well, here's Emile Smith Rowe, who did not take part in the England under 21s, if I am right, or 23s. I just forgot that. So Emile was back in training. Great. You sacrificed the national duty and came back to the club. That's really crazy. But more importantly, then there is Ben White. Thank God he's back. Albert Sambi Lokonga, after playing for Belgium, is back as well. Lacazette. And of course, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is back as well. Ben White, Takehiro Tomiyasu, Gabriel Magalhaes are back as well. And more importantly, oh my God, Martinelli, oh my word. Would love to see him against Norwich City, and that would be really crazy. And it just is certainly really great to see them. But not only them, it's Mikel Arteta and of course Gabriel watching him as well. Pablo Mari, and of course there is Bukayo Saka. As you can see, oh my God, there's the man, there's the lad, There's the Bologna defender Takehiro Tomiyasu getting instructions from Mikel Arteta. The guy can definitely turn it around for Arsenal, but more importantly, to talk about a turnaround, I think it's not just one game. It should be a streak, and of course, the biggest game coming up is the North London derby. That would be the real test of Arsenal's defense. But more importantly, well, I hope they don't get infected with the virus. Any one of them actually, and it just stays the same. And Martin Odegaard was back in the training as well. Thomas Partey versus Martin Odegaard. You can see in the image the intensity of it, and I think it was raining, I guess. So that is that as well. Okay, this image has repeated itself. Here's Takehiro Tomiyasu defending against Eddie Nketiah's shot, and then there is, I think Ben White is behind Seo Kolasinac. By the way, Emile Smith Rowe and Sead Kolasinac have been declared fit by Ben Dinnery, not by Ben Dinnery, but Ben Dinnery actually posted on his official Twitter account. Now he takes account of all the injuries of the Premier League players, so Ben Dinnery is back with the news that Smith Rowe is fine, Sambi Lokonga is fine, and so is Sead Kolasinac. They're back in the training, so nothing much to worry about them apart from Mohamed El Neni. But look at this bromance. Look at that. Look at the Portuguese-Japanese connection. Look at that. Oh, they're happy. Takehiro Tomiyasu was lifted. And this lifts my mood. This lifts a lot of Arsenal players' mood. That is Arsenal fans' mood. So that's the best part. When I see this image, it's so heartwarming, man. That's so good to see two new signings gelling so well. That's the brotherhood that you need to see, man. Love to see these kind of small things that really add up to something really huge. Well, that's really crazy. But more importantly, let's talk about Arsene Wenger. Now he has actually officially launched his master plan for a World Cup every 2 years, ignoring the European backlash. The former Arsenal boss assembled his A team of former world stars in Doha to help sell this scheme as well. So Papa Wenger is really making a lot of strides, and these strides are really it's really going to the next level, man, because he actually has proposals that would reduce the strain on the players, improve the quality and lessen the quantity of international football, and develop the game globally. That's the whole idea. So FIFA, boosted by support from most of the non-European world, is seeking to railroad the plans through by the end of the year. Although it is more likely that a final vote by the 211-member association will not come until May. But while Wenger and the likes of Brazilian superstar Ronaldo, Aussie Tim Cahill and Peter Schmeichel all came out fighting, the reality of this plan will see wholesale changes that may not be well received. The basic concept will see a major tournament every summer, with the World Cup from 2026 onwards being played in the even numbered years, and the continental tournaments like the Euros in the odd ones. You get where I'm going with this, right? Wenger wants to end the current elongated qualification process of up to 18 games in South America, slashed to either a single 6 or 7 game tournament every October, or the same number of matches split between October and March. That insisted the Frenchman, who cut thousands of miles off the distances travelled by players over a 4-year period. While the qualifiers would become more meaningful and would result in players playing fewer games in total, more critically, he argues more World Cups would have a huge impact on the development of football world. Wenger said, "It is a fact that we are moving to 48 countries at the World Cup from 2026, with Africa going from 5 spaces to 9. But more frequent World Cups mean more opportunities for countries to participate. Big players want to play big games. Every player dreams to play in top competitions, and it is the repeated travelling of the current schedule that is more detrimental than the number of games." I think Papa Wenger is not wrong here. Papa Wenger, I love what he's actually bringing to the table here. But then, I'm not actually, to be fair, to Arsene as well. I've not read the whole thing properly, so only then I can react. But as far as what I'm hearing, I think it's correct. I mean, Tony Cruz has mentioned that we're just puppets. That's what I think. That's not exactly what he used the word, but yes, football players need rest as well. Everyone knows that. But more importantly, former England goalkeeper Paul Robinson has slammed Arsenal for the business that they've conducted in the summer transfer window. He says the break probably came at a good time. If you ask the manager, he would have said he wanted to carry on and to get it right. They had a couple of weeks off coming off the back of 3 results, not just results, but the players seemingly don't want to play for him. There's noises coming out of the club for a while. Shut up. Shut up. He also says that they had a big transfer window. They have 6 players under 23. They're not looking forward. They don't want immediate. They're not looking forward. They're not looking forward. Okay. They don't want immediate success. There's an ethos there of going forward, but that's not what the manager wants because he needs results now. You look at the senior players, Xhaka, Lacazette, Leno, the experienced players, but there is a lot of youth, good young players. There is a clear unrest. You know what? Just let it be. Let it be, Paul. Just shut up. Shut up. Lots of people are actually talking about, Edu, the type of players that he's bought in. They're not going to give immediate success. That's what Edu came out and said that. Yes, it's not for immediate success. He's talking about a long-term project. I don't know. Arsenal fans would be fine with the whole idea that will they have the patience for that long-term project or not? That's the big question that should come up. But more importantly, I think if Edu is in charge and he's doing something, if I'll tell you what, I think the most that an Arsenal fan can definitely take is this whole season. They would want to see what they're doing in the next transfer window because this previously mentioned when the transfer window was open, I pretty much mentioned it before that it all depends on this window. So with this window, we're actually building the base on young players less than 24 years of age with good profile and good number of experience in international games as well. That is what was wanted, or either international games or someone who has actually played a full season with their senior team. That's exactly what the criteria is now for Arsenal to sign young players. And more importantly, they're also looking into to buy young English talent as well. So that's how that's going to be the build-up. I don't know if Arsenal fans have the patience. Seriously, it'll take a lot. But more importantly, let's talk about what Ray Parla has to say. He says they are well away from the top four at the moment, and that's where they have got to get back to. And we all argued under Arsene Wenger that fourth place wasn't good enough. Sadly, you're coming 8th and 9th now, which isn't good enough for Arsenal Football Club. So he's bought a lot of young players and they have got to bed into the team. This is the big decision. If you're Norwich tomorrow, the first 15 minutes you have to get right at them. And the crowd, if Norwich City score first, then it's going to be a totally different atmosphere at the Emirates. You can imagine some supporters getting on their backs a bit. I hope it doesn't happen because I'm an Arsenal fan and I really want them to do well. But I'm worried if Norwich do come out of the traps really well and get that first goal, then it's going to be an atmosphere which isn't going to be good to play in. But more importantly, it looks like a player that Arsenal could actually sign in Dominico Berardi. And if they do, he's some kind of, what do they say? He is Arjen Robben. Yeah, that's the term used here. So the former, who's this? According to a report from Italian news Gazzetta dello Sport last month, the Gunners showed an interest in Dominico Berardi after his exploits at the Euros. So he's been compared to Arjen Robben. Well, by the way, that's what Luciano Carlino said in 2014 while he was Sassuolo's assistant youth coach who found Dominico. He says, for his light touch and ability to cut in with pace, he reminds me of Robben. He has a left foot capable of lethality from any position. And even Sassuolo CEO Giovanni Carneval issued an update on the future of Berardi. He says, Caputo, Boga, Berardi and Locatelli won't be sold. We've received lots of offers for them, but we've rejected all of them. We won't be giving up our best players because we have an ambitious project with De Zerbi, with Berardi being the leader of this team. So let's see. If Arsenal want Berardi, they need to get him right now, or probably in the next window, I'm sorry. Yeah, that could be a very good player because he really has a good Euros victory under his belt. So that's a sort of, thing that you need to go for. So with this, I'd like to end this episode talking about Koundé. Who thinks Arsenal can actually sign Koundé? Yeah, I was kidding, okay? I was kidding. Just let me know in the comments. Can Arsenal actually, they had the audacity to go for Koundé, but do you think Arsenal should get Koundé, or will Koundé ever join Arsenal? Is that a possibility? I just want to know in the comments because I literally have no other question for you guys. So with this, I'd like to end this episode. Cheers. I'll see you in the next one.